Logie the Soft-Hackle Brassie, otherwise known as the chassis by my terms. I wanted to develop or work on some kind of way of making the Brassie body a little bit slimmer and more uniform. So instead of taking traditional tying thread and tying the wire to the hook shank and then wrapping the wire forward, what I decided to try and do was wrap the wire onto the hook, kind of like or just the way that you would wrap weight on a hook shank, and then seal it with Zap-A-Gap super glue. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I chose this time to use a really little piece of wire just so I had plenty to work with. When I'm tying this, normally I use a much smaller section of wire. I'm just spinning this on here nice and tightly, as uniformly as I can. Now, this is a size 20 hook, so we have to make sure that we leave plenty of room for the head of the fly. So what I've done now is formed a body, and I'm going to use my fingernails and push it forward and tighten all these spaces up between the wire. And then I'm going to use my fingernail and I'm going to push that back until it's positioned on the hook shank where I want it, which is going to allow enough room for the head to be formed. Just like that. Okay, now at this point I'm going to take a bodkin and a very small amount of this wonderful stuff called Zap-A-Gap. I picked this stuff up at Daniel's. It was a couple bucks. And when I say a small amount, I mean like a small amount. Not a whole lot here. Actually, I'm going to wipe some of this off. So, okay. Then what I did was just spread it nicely all along the wire. Underside too. Try not to hit your vise if you like your vise. And I try to just gently rub on all of the sides, just so a little bit of that glue got everywhere. Okay. Leave it sit for a minute. Blow on it. Okay, at this point, you should be able to just pull and bend back and forth on the wire, just like so, causing it to pop off neatly. And you can do the same with the back end. If your hands are sweaty, that takes a little bit longer, but what it does is allows you to have a very uniform body without having any protrusions from the wire, and doesn't form a bump because you didn't use tying thread and you're not tying the wire back over itself. Now at this point, for this particular fly, I just tie in my thread right at the head of the fly. Clip my tag. Since this is a size 20, I'm tying in a rather small soft-hackle feather from the wing of a partridge. Tie this in nice and tightly. Be a little bit big for the feather, but one turn. come in and clip the ends of the feather. Now at this point we can form the rest of the head. Make sure you pull back on all the feathers. And we can tie our whip finish knot. You can use the rib technique without the tying thread to form really small bodies for midge larva flies, brassies, anything else that needs that nice ribbed look. And that's what happens when you're done.